with my fal-lal to morel-ta-lal, whack for the dear old day, and what few nuts that poor girl had, she threw them all away. The place that we're in is the Ship Inn in Blaxhall, which is literally a country pub. But it is the scene for a film that was made by Peter Kennedy in 1955, and some audio recordings before that. But I think the title of the film is Here's a Health to the Ballymo, Songs from an English Country Pub, or an English Country Inn. But, you know, there's a lot of music a lot of singing that's been done here, and a lot of music that's been played here. And it's the source for lots of very well-known folk songs from this part of the world, and also step dancing traditions, and so on. So, I mean, I suppose it's one of those places where the name has quite a lot of resonance for anybody who knows anything about traditional English music. So a lot of the songs in that film have gone on to be kind of English folk standards, really. So amongst them is Bold General Wolfe is one of the standout ones from that. The Nutting Girl is very well known, and it's been sung by a lot of people. You know, I sing the Nutting Girl occasionally. The thing with the Nutting Girl is it's also I don't know which came first, but it's also a Morris dance tune that's very similar from Oxfordshire. So quite often they're done together. The song is sung and then the dance is danced, or they cross over or whatever. And also I think for a lot of people of my generation, and maybe slightly older than me, basically kids of folky parents in the 70s and 80s, the first place I heard it was a record called Morris On, which was the first electric Morris dance music album with lots of Fairport Convention alumni. But John Kirkpatrick sings The Nutting Girl on that. So that's sort of, it was a big part of my childhood, that record. And his source was Cyril Poacher, singing in the very spot I'm sitting in right now. Come all you jovial fellows and listen to my song. It is a little ditty and it won't detain you long. It's of this brisk young damsel, now she lived down in Kent. It's so one summer's morning that she a nutting went, with my fal-lal to morel-ta-lal, whack for the dear old day, and what few nuts that poor girl had, she threw them all away. I was first shown that 1955 film by Chris Foster, who was a folk singer from Somerset, but he was here in the mid-70s. I think he was at Teacher Training College in Suffolk, and he told me that a lot of the people in that film were still around, and of the ones who weren't still around, some of them, their kids had inherited the song. So the song I mentioned, Fagin the Cobbler, that Wickets Richardson sings, that's got lots of actions. When he died, his son inherited the song as his song to sing and did all the actions and the same. So there's a very real sort of oral tradition, things being passed down to funny things, but they were also being passed down to other people who were new to the area and being welcomed in. That film is in an informal setting, and you can see the place that they sang and the people who were singing it. You can see their faces and their expressions, and you can glean far more about traditional music from that than you can from the average reel-to-reel tape recording that might have been done in someone's home, or it might have been done in a local BBC studio. So I think it's a far more direct route into what it's all about, or what it was all about at that point anyway. So they filmed across 2 nights because they only had one camera. So it looks like a multi-angle, like modern shot film. But because it was done with one camera across 2 different nights, sometimes the camera angle changes. No one had told the singers that they should wear the same clothes. So sometimes the camera angle changes and someone's wearing a hat who wasn't wearing a hat a second ago, or like the coat has changed. Which happens in the song The Nutting Girl, the camera angle changes. Cyril Poacher, his sort of waistcoat and jacket have disappeared and been replaced by a scarf, and he's wearing a different hat. That version of Bold General Wolfe, the thing that really struck me is his eyes are open singing it, but his sort of it's like flickering, like that sort of REM dream sleep thing. And that, you know, the thing that people say about traditional singers could see the story in their mind, they could play the film in their minds, they were singing the story. And you think that is literally what's happening there. He's kind of glazed over and his eyes are following the action of the film. It's a remarkable film, anyway. And it's incredible that, you know, that these pews are still here. But also, that it's not a time capsule in a sealed off way. Singing still takes place here every week, you know. And there is important folk history of the 50s and the 1970s and, you know, and beyond. It's, you know, it's not... Time is a circle, it's passed through here many times, you know. It's of a jovial farmer, a ploughing of his land. East called unto his horses to bid them gently stand. As he sat down upon his plough, all for a song to sing, his voice was so melodious it made the valleys ring. With my fal lal to morel tal lal, whack for the dear old day, and what few nuts that poor girl had, she threw them all away.